welcome to the Guyver series. This is going to be a series of video where I'm going to take you step by step for the most part on how I go about making a Guyver helmet. Now I've made Guyver 1, Guyver 3, I'm currently working on the Anubis Guyver, which is not as well known as the other 3 or 4 that are out there. If you look online, the creator goes by Boss, B-O-S. If you type in Anubis Guyver, it's a red Guyver suit with great big dragon wings. It looks really cool. But for the purpose of this video, I've chosen to do the Valkyrie Guyver. If you're not familiar with it, it's the female Guyver from the original Guyver series, which never made it into the new Guyver series that was released a few years back. Now what I do is I'll sit myself with my one of my trusty little stands, which has a foam head as a base that I already covered up with clay. Now, with helmets like this, you got to think from a sales point of view. You want it big enough to fit, you know, a good variety of people. You can't have the thing too big, and you can't have it too small. So you got to have a happy medium. So basically, I'm not a big guy. Like, I'm 6'1", but you know, overall I'm not that big. So I just basically take my head measurements and just a smidge under, because it's a female helmet. And you got to figure, well, you know, they've got usually more hair than I do, so keep that in mind. So I went ahead and covered the whole head. Probably going to go ahead and do the neck as well. But you cover the head, you make sure your dimensions are correct. Now in this case, I made the jaw a little wider for a purpose that it's easier for the helmet to go on. If the jawline's too narrow, when you start build up clay, it's going to be a really tight spot, and when you go to fit the helmet on, it's either going to be able to rub a lot, or it's going to be really uncomfortable for the wearer. So little things like that you have to think about. Now, you want to have your material ready. You want to make sure you have enough of it. In this case, I've got 10. I probably got better part of 14 pounds of clay. Doubtful I'll be using all of it, but it's good to have more than you need. Besides, once you get your rough shape done, when you start trimming stuff, you'll get like a good pound of clay coming off of that just from the trim work. So, what I usually do is I'll sit in front of my couch or table, what have you, pop in a movie or two, and I'll get usually the real rough out of the actual helmet done within the space of a couple of flicks. And like in my case, it's really handy. I went on eBay, found myself a relatively inexpensive vinyl model kit of the Valkyrie Guyver. So that way I've got a really good point of reference as far as what I'm looking at to build.
Looks like we missed the party.
You know, and the real easy part, it's almost cheating for me anyway. But I've already got the spheres that go on top of the head. Those clear plastic acrylic balls. Got those already made. I've already got the control metal made. I'm using the same control metal for the number 3 one and the Valkyrie Guyver. The only one I have to make a custom one for is the Anubis Guyver, because it's such a large control metal. But you know, a model, whether it's pictures or a physical model that you can look and turn and have a look at, it's imperative that you have one, because it wastes a lot of time if you're not in the same room, or if you've got a laptop, even better. That way you can flip through your pictures at the same time. Looks great. Or if you don't have a laptop, burn all your pictures to disk, throw them in your DVD player or a PS2 or something. you know, nice and easy. So, you know, you start with that kind of stuff, and you look at your shape, and you start to figure out where the build-up's going to go. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that when you flip it forward, you've got the nose and the cavities where the eyes are. That's the first thing you want to start filling in. The eye is pretty easy. Like, once you have an idea, you'll with enough practice, you have an idea what the spacing is for the eyes, and you're just going to go ahead and fill in the cavities, and you're going to put about I'd say a good ½ inch of clay build over top of the nose. That way, because there's usually a lot of trim work around the Guyver helmets in that area, so you want to have enough clay to be able to. And I can't really show you how I do the build-up of the clay, because working backwards is just insane. So basically, you're going to end up building a helmet that almost looks like it's blind, like your head form. So both eye cavities are empty. You're probably going to run, like, I'd have like a almost like a tube of clay handy. That's like a bunch of pieces that I took off various things, and so you'd do like something like a band, do something like that, and you'd come around and you'd put it over almost at the eyebrow section. That way it gives you a bit of, like, you've got your eyes, you cover it up, but even if you were to sculpt that right there, that means the lens is like ½ inch away from your eyes, and your eyelashes are, you know, this being a female helmet, would be a lot of contact and possible scratching. So you do want to have enough room on the inside of the helmet so that it's still comfortable. Because I've seen some helmets out there from, you know, like major manufacturer that are just really poorly thought out, and you know, for the amount of money that, you know, these companies make, they can probably pop these helmets out, you know, in a day, from, you know, or under a week for that matter, from initial conceptual drawings to final product, and you know.